Okay, everybody, I'm just going to get on with this presentation. And the other thing I just want to say before we get going is that if anyone was directed to a web page saying that you needed to pay $27 for a meditation, I'm extremely sorry about that. I'm not somebody who promotes extra sales. I'm going to talk about our courses right at the end. But I am actually going to give everybody who's here a copy of that meditation guide for free, because that is not what the intention was at all. This is a free session. And I'm here to interact with as many of you as who can. There's a questions and answers box where I can see messages coming through. So if the chat function isn't working, but you can see the Q&A box, then I will be able to get your questions there. But I'm basically going to walk you through about subtle energy. So sit back, relax. Hopefully you'll enjoy this, and hopefully you'll find it helpful. And I'm going to talk to you about the importance of subtle energy and why it is so important, and how it really became into my life something that I've been using as a tool over a long progression of learning about energy, which has eventually taken me into psychic skills development. So the power of subtle energy, we're just going to today touch on what is it and why it matters. And then we are going to look at, within the subtle energy system, I'm going to be talking about how to unlock the power of your own holistic self, your energetic system within that. Then I'm going to be talking about actually inside of your holistic self, how do you actually make that happen for yourself, is to go in and talk about and practice and learn how to activate self-love. And there are so many benefits to self-love. It is really the starting toolbox of activating how you work with the universe, the energy, psychically, but also how you're able to work with people and places around you as well in a much more balanced and more certain way, where you really feel that you're in charge and empowered. And then I'm just going to finish up at the end and just talk about what it is that I offer and we offer in a more holistic sense, all the way from free stuff up to some mentoring programs that are going on, just so you get a little bit of an understanding about me, about what I want to do and how I want to help you feel better about yourselves. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to use a poll function. If it doesn't work, I'm not going to use it again, but I'm just going to ask you here if anyone can see that. And I'm going to launch a poll for those of you who can see it. What I'm basically going to ask is, what is subtle energy? Okay, so if any of you can see that, you can answer. We have got some answers coming in. Okay, subtle energy. Your questions are, for those of you who can't see the quiz: physical energy that you can measure with instruments, the energy that powers electric devices, a form of energy that's not easily measured but can be felt, and an energy found in food. Well, no surprises, you've got all of that right. Okay, subtle energy is a form of energy that's not easily measured, but can be found everywhere. And I'm going to talk about how much everywhere actually means. Okay, so subtle energy is an intangible forces that shape our lives. And when I mean intangible, you can't touch them, you can't put your fingers on them, you can't feel, you can't see them, but you can feel them. Some of you might be able to see intangible energy psychically, but in general, we have all of these things that impact us and we can't see them, but we can, oh boy, can we feel them. They really impact us. Okay, so with our little human here, all of these things coming in, unseen forces can create real pressure, very big pressures on our system. And yet there are things around us that we can't see. So what are they and why do they matter? Okay, well, just before we go there, when we don't have good boundaries, which we're not taught about, and it takes a lot of understanding about ourselves to even know what boundaries are, let alone how to implement them. When we don't have good boundaries, these things that pressurize us actually become damaging. They become damaging to our physical, our mental, emotional, and our spiritual health. So I'm here to point them out, and I'm here to give you some tools about how to start reversing the trend and taking some empowerment. These forces are not going to go away. And I think that's something I really want you to take away from here. It's a bit like the weather. There's so much energy out there that is so impactful on us that we can't control, but what we can do is work out how to work with that energy in a way that's much more empowering for us. Okay, so I'm going to talk through some pillars of subtle energy. Okay, and I'm going to go through quite a few. They are more real than you perhaps think, but if you actually understand the energy aspect of things that are very real in our environment, we start to realize that it's not just about the material aspect of what we see, it's the energetic impact of what is happening to us from so much that is going on around us that is actually the bit that we can work with the best, okay, rather than the specific material circumstances. So first of all, subtle energy affects and infects us. And I started to get really, really interested in subtle energy myself when I had a very, very, very challenging boss who could walk into a room and literally kill the vibe of everybody. And we all went home, like a boardroom full of, really, really competent directors, went home absolutely miserable and kind of infected everybody around us because we were miserable. And yet, on the converse side, I've also worked with a boss in particular, one in particular, but several who've been absolutely amazing, or colleagues who've been absolutely amazing, who've been very, very happy, very vibrant and very buoyant, and everybody goes home happy, even if it's a tough meeting. And so that energy really ripples, and we talk about things rippling, but if you think about going close to somebody who's very angry or aggressive, or go to somebody who's constantly kind of feeling down about themselves, even though we want to help them, if they're constantly in pain or they're kind of not showing any signs of being able to help lift themselves out, then, there's only so much we can go without actually being impacted by that energy ourselves. And if we hang out with happy, vibrant people, then we feel really good. Now, it's not just about people, but these are really clear examples. And it was the impact of people that really got me interested in subtle energy, because these energies, whether they're from people or places or things or circumstances, can affect us and infect us over long periods of time. So pillars of subtle energy, I'm going to put them in twos. They are separate pillars, so nature and your environment. So nature itself, the natural world, is a very giving, it's a very fulfilling energy. If we don't spend enough time in nature, we can feel a little bit constrained. When we go out in nature, we tend usually to feel more free. It allows energy to flow through us. Our environment is like something slightly separate. Our environment is where we live, our work environment, our places of hanging out, the objects that we surround ourselves with. Every single object has an energetic expression. So all of our objects around our house have an energy. So our environment can either be very cluttered, in which case it's kind of energy dense, or it can be quite sort of free of objects, in which case it's quite energetically expansive. And those objects will all have meaning to you. And objects that are perhaps from hand-me-downs from parents or other people, when somebody's given you an object, that object of that energy of that object does come with kind of built-in aspects to it that can really have a long-term impact on you, positively or negatively. Technology and media, they're slightly different. Media is the information that goes on to technology. Technology itself is, the actual electronics, the bits of equipment that we have around us. When we overhaul our relationship with these, a lot of media, not just social media, but news reporting can be very sensationalized in these days. And we're not going to change that unless you're in the media, you might want to, but, it is there, it is what it is. But it can be very sensorily overloading. And I know I've actually started to need to wear glasses because I spend too much time looking at screens. And so it's having a physical impact on me, but these are energies, they're energy centers that put pressure on us. We need to engage with these tools, but when we engage with them or we over-engage with them, then energetically, not just physically because of their physical tools, energetically, they can really have a long-term and short-term impact on us. Sounds really straightforward, but our body and our health, they're two separate things. Our body is a physical system, and I'm going to be talking about our holistic body shortly. But our physical body is actually very, very, very intelligent. And when we're not working with our energetic system, our holistic system, where our emotions and our feelings, and we're very much stuck in our head, then the counter to that is our health. And if we don't have our health, we kind of don't really have very much. And so understanding your holistic self will help your body, and your health is something slightly different. It is your whole energetic system health. Your body will give you lots and lots and lots of indicators of warnings. And again, if you tune in energetically and learn to listen, then there's a chance that you might catch something early, the more that you learn to listen to the energy signals that are being sent to you. The next thing is food and exercise, again, taken separately. We are very mentally driven by our thought process of what food should be for us. There are lots of science out there that tells us what food should be good and shouldn't be good for us. There's lots of science out there that tells us about what exercise should be good and shouldn't be good for us. If we approach food and exercise from a mental process, we're kind of missing the point of what they're doing for us energetically. So food has an energetic impact. It's not just calories, it is your body can feel sluggish or your body can feel happy, but it can also make you really think about how intelligent your body is if you start to work with what your body wants as food and what your body wants as exercise. So again, there's this energetic interchange between these subtle energies. Passion and purpose, getting to know your passions. What do you absolutely love? We spend not enough time on passion and not enough time necessarily on purpose that is meaningful for us, or we choose a purpose because it is handed down to us as an expectation, for example. Like, you know, if you have a father that's a pilot, you kind of think that you might need to be a pilot, and you're energetically influenced. So although all these things I'm describing are physical, real world activities, there are all things that are on the outside of us that have this energetic pressure influence on us or soothing influence on us. So they either push against our boundaries or they help us expand our boundaries. Money and self-worth, two very obvious ones. The pressure to make money is not just the money, but the pressure to make money is the subtle energy impact. The pressure that we put on ourselves where we don't feel that we're worthy of having money is an internal pressure. It is a pressure that we put on ourselves. And when we have money and we're feeling more free, then we are able to feel perhaps more relaxed. But if we don't understand our self-worth, which is a happiness inside, we've got money on the outside of us, then the money doesn't necessarily allow us the energetic uplift that happiness and self-worth can have. So they are very, very different things, but they are very intertwined as energetic influences on us. And then 2 or 3 more rules and frameworks. So we have rules that are societal level, we have rules that are in our families, we have rules that are at our workplace, we have rules that are built into our legal systems. There are rules everywhere. And knowing the rules and staying between the rules is hard work. Most people like to break some rules. And again, it's like, what are they? They're bits of paper, things written on words, sometimes they're unwritten rules, but they put pressure on us. They make us not able to be 100% free. If you look at animals out in the natural world, there are some rules of gravity. There are some rules of, interchange between animals. I'm trying to think of other ones, the rules of the weather. But the rules that humans put in place there's a lot of them, and we have to work within the frameworks of our societies. And as we become more and more multicultural and multi-geographical, then, you know, understanding our place in each little environment that we go into has an energetic impact on our system. We can mentally think about it, but actually our whole system is working with the energy of these shifts day in, day out. Big one, family and children. As many of you know, I've recently lost my mum, and having those relationships and then not having the relationships really has, you know, brought up a lot of thought processes about how you change who you are in order to, you know, either help people or to serve people, or again, the family rules that are there. I don't have children, I chose not to, but, you know, the amount of pressure or the amount of energy that we put into children or children into parents, I know the two-way relationship is strong, but then there's wider family, you know, wider family that we are energetically influenced by, not just physically and mentally, but there's a pressure, there's that feeling, there's the tense clenching when we know that somebody's coming, or the really happy, relaxed feeling when we are with somebody that we feel emotionally safe with. And friends and fun time, it kind of speaks for itself, but again, energetically, we often use our friends and grab our friends, our fun time as quickly as we can, taking it in if we can. Not all friends are balanced relationships, and imbalances. So imbalances in people dynamics, again, puts pressure on our system, or it relieves pressure on our system. Creativity and adventure, I'm nearly through, there's 2 more. Creativity and adventure, these are pillars of subtle energy. Creativity is where we find flow, it's where we find freedom, it's where we find self-expression, and the same with adventures. Even a little adventure, driving a different way to work, or a big adventure, walking up a mountain or crossing a continent. All of these things actually grow us, but they're the first things to go when we're feeling under pressure and stressed, which of all the other subtle energy impacts do for us. And then the final two pillars, love and relationships or partnerships, doesn't have to be romantic partnerships. We can have business partnerships. We can have partnerships just to get a project done, for example. But that love of having a loving partner or a loving relationship with somebody is very, very much less pressured when we know and we can learn to truly love who we are on the inside. And that allows us to be more vulnerable and more clear and more structured about how we want to have love on the outside of us. Okay, so all of these, they seem very, very tangible and they're very, very material. But if you put them back into this context of energy, then they are all very impactful. Okay, so we're going to go for another poll, and I'm going to launch the second one, which is, okay, so this is an opinion poll. Okay, so rate these influences. How are they for you? So family, money, health, rules, and purpose. Can everyone see that? Yeah, we've got some people rating here. We have got extremely challenging with family and money. Yeah, not surprising they come out top. And the least challenging or very nurturing is purpose, which is beautiful. Yeah. Okay, this is really interesting. So for those of you, if you can't see the poll, then I'm basically rating extremely challenging or somewhat challenging, not bothered, somewhat nurturing, very nurturing, family, money, health, rules, purpose. And we've got the most extremely challenging energy is money. The second most extremely challenging energy is family. And health, rules, and purpose are kind of about the same. Okay. Yeah, so family and money can have such huge consequences on our emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual health. Okay, all right. I've talked about these pillars. I'm just going to pop back on. I have no idea whether you can see me at the same time as talking or not. I'll figure all of this out. I'm sure you can give me feedback at the end. But I'm just going to pop back on again because I've talked about subtle energy and I said unlock the power of subtle energy in our webinar overview. But unlocking the power of subtle energy means understanding all of these things that impact us on the outside of us, and then saying, actually, these aren't really things that we can control. We can try to on an individual basis, but they're constantly coming at us all the time. All of these energies, wherever we go, we have all of these energies around us and more. Those are some of the main key ones, but there'll be others. But these are the real fundamentals that are constantly either ebbing and flowing, giving us room to breathe or not giving us room, putting pressure on, usually more often than not putting pressure on us, particularly family and money, for example. And they are constant, they're constantly in our lives. So what's the solution? The solution is to go within, to say, I can't change all of that. I can try to change some people or do certain things, or I can try to manipulate. If you think about how much of it is going on all the time, it's an impossible task. So the way to solve this is to go and understand ourselves at a deeper level and get some tools, but also an understanding of who we are, first of all, to start with. So let's go back onto screen and we're going to talk about your holistic self, because we are so much in our heads all the time and trying to fight things. And what we're going to do is talk about question 3, our holistic self. So a question for you. What do you think is your holistic self? For those of you, anyone who can't actually see the poll, it says, is it your physical presence, your chakra system, your mind, body, and soul? Or is it your physical, emotional, spiritual, and environmental energies? Okay, so a bit of voting going on here. Yeah, most of you, none of you are going for physical presence or chakra system. Most of you are going for physical, emotional, spiritual, and environmental energies, and some of you are for mind, body, and soul. Well, mind, body, and soul is very, very close. It's kind of mind, body, soul, and environment. Our holistic self is our mind, body, and soul, but it is also our environment. We are part of our environment. So our holistic self will always encompass the energy that we're interacting with as well as the energy inside. So my description of it is our physical, emotional, spiritual, and environmental energies, because that kind of encompasses most of us, the energy of us, including everything that is on the outside of us and on the inside. Okay, so well done. All right, so let's look at this holistic self then. And we have got, I'll just minimize the questions just for now. We have got you in the middle, okay, with your aura around you. So this is your physical presence. And then you have things that are going on in your immediate world, right? You need to eat, you might be exercising, you might be on your phone quite a lot, you'll be trying to make money or spending money, you'll be at work, or you'll be chatting away to friends or something, you'll be sleeping, you'll be in your bed, you'll be in your environment. Some of you might have pets that you're walking, you have family to deal with. And so it goes on, these energies, and there'll be more, but there are energies that are constantly in your face all the time. And you're having to react to them, you're having to deal with them. Then outside of your immediate vision, there are things going on just a little bit further out. So take your aura and go out, a mile or 2 miles or, around the world. And there are other things that are kind of constantly in the back of your mind, as opposed. So if you think of these things that are just in this first circle is in the front of your mind, they're constantly there every single day, almost every single day. And then further afield, there is something horrible happening in the news, some war that's happening or some tragic event, and it comes in and then it goes out again, and it's actually not in your location. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed for you that it's not in your physical presence. Obviously, for some people that might be the case, but if you're not in that particular vicinity, you've got things going on in the world that really, really bother us. Climate change, it bothers us. You've also got these ideas, but you can't do anything with them. So they come and they go, and they kind of you push them away because they kind of stay out of the way. The weather, I mean, has such a big impact on us. But you can't help it. But it's there, it's out there. It's something that we have to deal with. Or if we're traveling, we have to think about what it is that we're going to be wearing, or weather that we are going to have to deal with. Splitting up with people, I mean, the energy of that can last. So we've got things that are physically distant from us, and then we have got things that are emotionally distant from us, but yet they're still very, very much present. So, past hurts, past relationships, past issues, current challenges with people, but actually they stem from a long period of time ago. So we've got all of these energies constantly on the go around us. And every so often, if we can, we try to make some time to meditate, and hats off to all of you who do, because I'm going to show you why it is important on a physical level shortly. We try and make a little bit of time to squeeze in some quiet time, but actually we've just got so much pressure and so much fear going on in our head that even when we make that quiet time, we chill ourselves down, we get some, good vibes flowing through us, and then we get back into the fray and off it all goes again. And as I said, these things aren't going to go away, but what they do is really impact our aura, our chi, our vibe, our energy system. Okay, so we're going to unlock the power. Start to unlock for some of you, maybe explain it in a way some of you will be more advanced than others, but unlocking the power of your holistic self. Okay, you hear me talk a lot on Pisces Magic Tarot, I'm sure, about left brain and right brain, about soul and about ego. Mostly, and I say mostly because if you've been meditating or if you're advanced in terms of connecting to your psychic senses, you'll be working with more and more of your system. But mostly, and we're kind of taught this through school because we're taught to be analytical, we react to external energy. And this is triggered by our analytical mind. And that's kind of its job that it's created for itself, which is our ego, which says, look, I can see something coming, and based on something that's happened in the past, I know I need to react to this because I need to protect us. I need to protect you, okay? And it creates lots and lots and lots of fear. And fear puts a lot of stress on our physical system. It's actually very, very damaging to ourselves. And yet we live with fear and constant stress because of this need to be, to please, to prove, to deal with all of these energies, every single energy that we've been talking about, and some more. Okay, so mostly that is how we live our lives. And it's certainly how I lived my life for the better part of most of my adult life, probably until about 3 or 4 years ago when I started to get really, really interested in energy. Okay, so mostly we live in fear. And even a year ago, I had huge amounts of fear going on in my head. And we have to understand where that fear is coming from. Is it ours? Is it even coming from us? Where does it come from? So it is a journey. However, our mind is one part of a very big intelligent system. This physicality that you all have okay, which is our holistic self, which we've described as our physical energy. That's the bit that you can touch. Our emotional energy, which is coming from our heart center, and our spiritual energy, which kind of sinks down our feelings, which sit down in our they kind of interact with our external world through our gut system, all talk to us through our right brain. So the nerves that run through our body, physically run through our body, wire everything, these energetic centers that feel and produce emotions and things that we love, they're all wired through our parasympathetic nervous system to our right brain. So our mind, when it works in isolation from our left brain and it thinks it's kind of focused in there, is kind of missing the help that is available from this bigger intelligent system that it sits in. Okay, and there are a lot of blocks. They're trained into us very early. From the moment we go to school, it's like, let's count, let's learn maths, let's learn, to speak. The best thing that we can do is more creativity and more exercise when kids are little, because that will help keeping those kind of synapses and neurons going between both halves of our brains. But where we are for our generation. The blocks between mind and body damage well-being. They really do. However, the good news is they can be restored. So the blocks can be removed and the connections restored. And this is the start of self-love work. And what that really entails is kind of piecing the brain back together. So both halves work, both halves have space. And I'm going to show you in a minute why meditation really, really helps with that. But using meditation in a way to help push yourself onto this actual path of self-love, as opposed to just finding quiet time, is something I'm going to help encourage you to do as a tool. Okay, so we have mental energy. So let's go back to these as energetic centers in our body. Okay, aligned with chakras, but I'm just going to talk as them as organs, the physical aspects of our body. We've got this energy that's coming from our brain, and that has thoughts. It has literally waves, brain waves, gamma waves of energy coming out of it. It emits energy in waves, and we have that mental energy, which is thoughts. We have emotional energy coming from our heart center, and we have physical, psychic energy with our feelings. So our feelings sense this big environment around us. Our body kind of says, how do we want to react to it? What emotion and what's that going to have? And then it goes up to our thoughts, and our left brain isn't always good at interpreting those feelings. It can think the thoughts that it wants to think rather than the feelings that are actually coming up to it. However, when all of these work together, and that does require some mental training, almost like going to the gym, where we re-synapse, we retrain the pathways between our right and left brain to work together. We get a holistic system that's much, much more in balance, and we have the ability to be able to deal with the external forces, because our aura starts to become more pure, more certain, because we're feeling all of the aspects of the energy from our aura. We're not just feeling from our head, we start to feel and sense all of the energy and interpret it through our heart center and through our guts, literally, which is called our second brain, our enteric nervous system. We start to interpret all of that psychic energy and all of that emotional energy, and we can work with our brain in that holistic way. Okay, so that's the holistic system. And what's the key? The absolute trigger, the best way that you can get going with this is self-love training. It starts to repair the divide, or what I call self-compassion training, where you actually start to allow yourself to believe that you are amazing. And I'm going to give you 3 tools shortly about how to make that happen for yourself. And then I'm going to talk about other things that we are going to bring to you to help you with that. Okay, some free, some not, but I'm going to talk to you about those. And there are lots and lots of other places and lots of other amazing teachers out there as well. But for you, if you're on a path to wanting to feel really, really good about yourself and about your life going forwards, I would not underestimate, and I'm going to talk about why in a minute, the self-love training repairs this divide and how important it is for you and what it can bring to you. Okay, just a quick slide here about why meditation helps. So left brain, you can see this big blob of activity. Okay, the left brain, which is our ego center, clamors. It's where our thoughts come from. It's where our speech. It's where the energy to deal with all of those rules, all of the beliefs, all of the things, the values that humans create for themselves, all has to be dealt with through this left brain. So it is hyperactive, analytical. How do I respond? What do I do? And and it shouts, it clamors for attention, it clamors to be heard. Quite rightly, it's got to deal with all this stuff going on outside of us. But when we meditate, or when we quieten our left brain, or we turn down our analyzer, we allow our right brain room to actually talk. So we have the capacity to, or more capacity to, actually receive psychic information, emotional information, and feelings information. So if you know this and then use it knowingly in order to help yourself work in meditation to achieve things that you want to achieve, such as self-love, such as and achieve internally for yourself, such as self-love, such as connecting to your soul, such as receiving information from your spirit guides, or receiving information from external animals, for example. When you've gone into meditation, if you've left room, you can start to hear information psychically, you can start to feel and sense it psychically, but you can also hear your intuition, you can feel your feelings and hear your thoughts. So why meditation isn't just a tool for calming, it's actually a tool for allowing the information from the rest of your body to come through, and from the external environment. Okay, so self-empowerment comes from self and love. So dealing with all that external subtle energy and feeling empowered to deal with all of that energy on the outside of us starts and comes from self-love. And I'm going to explain why. Okay, so let's go next to the next poll. What does self-love mean to you? Let me just, there are actually two questions here. So, oh, I would launch. It's not going to let me launch. Hang on, can I launch those? Two sets. No, it won't let me launch that. What have I done? Number 4. Okay, 2 secs. I'm going to have to show one question at a time, and then that might launch. Okay, I'm not going to be able to do that. Okay, I'm just going to let you have a think about this question yourself. What is self-love to you? Okay, so, and self-love gets a really bad rep, but I really want you to be able to feel good about self-love. Okay, so self-love, focusing solely on your own needs regardless of others. Number 2 is treating yourself with kindness, respect, and compassion. Number 3 is achieving all of your personal goals. And number 4 is having a perfect appearance. So you can maybe put your answer in the Q&A if you have. And I will answer for you that self-love is about treating yourself with kindness, respect, and compassion. Okay, and yes, you can achieve all of your goals. Yes, you can want to have a perfect appearance. We can have all the things that we want to have, but self-love really is about treating ourselves well. And a common misconception about self-love was the other question, which is it's the same as being selfish, which it actually isn't. It's not self-centered. It's not selfish at all. It just involves setting healthy boundaries. It includes practicing self-care, and it is about accepting yourself as you are. And those are very, very beautiful gifts that you can give to yourself. Okay, sorry, that quiz doesn't work. We'll try the next one in a minute. Okay, focusing on self-love then. So we've had subtle energy. What is it? How do we deal with it? There's so much of it. The best thing is to understand yourself and focus on self-love. Okay, let me try another poll. This one should hopefully work because there aren't 2 questions. So we have got, what are the key benefits of self-love? No, and that's not going to work either. Okay, all right. Well, you know what? Life's a learning curve. So some of the key benefits of self-love could be, and you can again answer these for yourselves, improved health and well-being. Tick all of these that might apply to you as I'm talking. Improved health and well-being, would that be self-love, a benefit? Stress reduction, greater emotional resilience, improved self-esteem and confidence, increased inner peace, and a deepening sense of purpose. So would any of those feel like good benefits of self-love? Well, the key is that they all are, and more. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you quickly about the physical benefits of self-love. This is what self-love will do for you. And this is the gentle, compassionate, kind, allowing yourself the gift of actually loving who you are in all aspects. Okay, so you will have improved health and well-being. You will have more energy and life force flowing through you. Your physical health and well-being will improve. You will feel less stressed. You will have more energy, and you will have an enhanced immune system. This is proven science, and it is very, very, very real. Okay, so allowing yourself the gift of actually loving who you are will have these incredible physical benefits for you. And yet it will take a little bit of time, but you will find a return to health if you have long-term issues as well. And I have physical and practical evidence of this happening. 20, 30-year-long issues clearing up within weeks when self-love is instigated. There are emotional benefits. There's greater emotional resilience. We can deal with those difficult people far better. And better emotional regulation means that we can recover far better, far quicker when we've had emotional challenges. You will have improved self-esteem and confidence. These are things on the outside of us. Self-esteem is how we feel on the inside, and confidence is how we portray ourselves on the outside. But with self-love, we just feel more empowered to have more confidence. And it enhances relationships. We are able to feel more vulnerable. We're able also to have better boundaries. We're able to express ourselves. If we have a relationship that isn't very good for us, we're able to do something about it in a way that suits us and not feel so guilty about it. And then there are incredible spiritual benefits. And these are what has basically taken me by so much surprise over the last 2 years, because I had no spiritual beliefs, I had no spiritual connection as I understood it. And as I became more and more a student of self-love, I found my psychic gifts developing, I found my inner peace coming, I found my absolute certainty in my belief of my intuition. And there is this connection that comes to the spiritual world. It might start with guides, it might start with your higher self, it might start with animals, but we start to receive these incredible downloads of information or conversations. So spiritual benefits of self-love, a deepened sense of purpose, vastly increased inner peace, balance that comes with that, confidence that comes with that, greater connection to your higher self, to your guides, to the greater source, to the universe, whatever your word is for that. And also you will be able to start to talk to nature and communicate through telepathic clairsenses. There are 8 clairsenses. They will become available to you if they're not already, or you will be able to know that they're there, and you'll have enhanced intuition. And it absolutely starts with rewiring that programming between your left brain and right brain and through into self-love. Okay, so I'm going to give you 3 immediate tools. These are things that you can start doing today to start that process or to enhance the process of self-love activation. Okay, very, very simple things to do, and they will change your life dramatically in the space of a very, very short few days, weeks, maybe at the most. Okay, so the first thing to do is to give yourself permission to accept your intelligence, to accept your beauty, to accept your genius, and to accept the gift that is you to this world. Okay, so I just encourage you, we're just going to do this very, very quickly. It's just to close your eyes, just take a few very, very deep breaths, just center yourself, just draw your awareness in. Maybe just focus on your third eye just for a minute. Take a couple of deep breaths that just brings your energy and your focus down. And I'm talking, so I'm just going to drop my energy a little bit, bring it into your heart center, then bring your awareness down into your stomach and your gut area. A couple of deep breaths and just soften your belly. And just say these words out loud. I give myself permission to accept my intelligence. And say them out loud. I give myself permission to accept my intelligence. And again, just focus and say, I give myself permission to accept my uniqueness. Just a couple more deep breaths. I give myself permission to accept all of my greatness. A couple more deep breaths. I give myself permission to accept my gifts. And just as you keep your eyes closed, just for a couple of breaths, I just want you to sense your aliveness. Just feel the pulse inside of you that is your life force, the bit of you that doesn't age, the bit of you that knows that you're beautiful. Just connect to that. And when you're feeling down about yourself, every single time you do, close your eyes and feel your aliveness, and then give yourself permission to accept your brilliance. Okay? So that's the first easy thing that you can do, and you're now on the path to self-love because you've given yourself permission to activate it. And you can do that any amount of times that you want to. When you go off track, come back to it. The second thing you can do straight away, you can start today. This is proven psychotherapy. And this is rewiring the synapses. So your left brain is using a nervous system called our sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight. I've got to respond, I've got to respond, I've got to respond. Okay? If for 5 minutes every single day, try to do it for 21 days, 28 if you can, because that kind of forms the habit. Think about going to the gym. And when you go to the gym and you start training on machines and you start building muscles, you start actually changing the muscle shape, or you build synapses go from your head down to your muscles and your muscle actually starts to build. What we're doing with this is a 5-minute gym workout for your synapses in your head. Okay, so for 5 minutes every single day. If you're competitive like me, you'll do it for 6 minutes, because my psychotherapist, when I had to go and deal and understand self-love, said do 5 minutes. So I did 6 because I'm competitive with myself like that. And I did it for 28 days. Do it for 21 minimum, because if you go to the gym for 10 days, you won't make much difference. If you go for 21 days, you'll start to feel a difference. Okay, but what you have to do is not go to the gym. All you have to do is set your phone countdown timer and say, I am worthy, I'm enough. I am worthy, I am enough. I am worthy, I am enough. You can then iterate, you'll start to grow in confidence. You will actually feel your chi, your life force, starting to grow and develop, and you'll start to feel it actually pushing out from you. And this is where your boundaries are starting to come in. This is where your energetic boundaries start to happen. And it's a beautiful process. Okay, so 5 minutes for 21 days, maybe more. After a few days, you might want to say, actually, I'm more than enough. I'm quite nice. I'm amazing. Maybe by the end of 21 days, hopefully for some of you, you'll say, I am absolutely fantastic. I love who I am. I'm beautiful. I'm a genius. I'm a unique, incredible individual. And so follow that iteration. Take it as far as you can. If it feels uncomfortable to start with, just start with, I am here. I am worthy, and build it up. And you will have an astounding change in your chi, your life force, your aura within the space of 21 days. It is life-changing. Okay, something you can do straight away. It doesn't take any equipment at all. Maybe a countdown timer on your phone. The third thing is harder to implement because you have to learn to catch yourself. However, it is incredibly effective. And it's starting to actually use your whole system, your whole holistic system, to respond to your external environment in a way that is more aligned with how you are than how the external environment is. So a lot of our interactions, not all of them, but a lot of our interactions, because everything's happening at once and we're dealing with stress and we're having to deal with everything, if something happens and then we have a reaction to it because it's like, oh, I need to react to this because that's what we're trained to do. And when we're in our sympathetic nervous system, we are trained to react. I'm in fear, I need to react. And then you react and then you go, oh, I can't believe I just done that. And you have a behavior and it's just like, oh, I'm just like, this is maybe really angry. If it's an angry reaction, it could be a really upset reaction. It's just like, oh, I can't, you could freeze and just, I can't believe that's just happened. And then you get all kind of like distressed and you back away. And then afterwards, sometime afterwards, maybe for quite a long time afterwards, you have these feelings that just wash through you and they're just horrendous. And this can go on and on and on and on and on. It can actually, the feelings can go on for years. Okay. And then there is another way to be. It is a slight tweak, but it makes everything change for you. It makes you able to deal with things in a different way, and you have to catch yourself and you have to practice it. And it's quite good to journal about these. I'll explain a little bit more about how I can help you with some of these tools. Okay, is to turn the feelings. So the feelings, if you just notice here, instead of at the end, the feel bit happens afterwards. The same situation, exactly the same situation, but we take time to feel. We actually go into our body, we scan our body and say, what am I feeling? What am I actually feeling about this? And we take time before we react. Difficult to do when we're in a stress situation, but with practice it comes. Okay, so it's a practice thing. It's something that is just, we just have to train ourselves to do it because we're trained not to do it. And what we're actually doing by doing this is going into our parasympathetic nervous system first, which soothes us, and it goes through our heart so we can feel, how do I feel about that? Okay, how do I want to respond about it? Somebody said something to me and I was like, well, that feels like shit. Sorry, S-H-I-T, that feels awful. So I'm just going to say, no, I'm not going to engage with that. Absolutely no way, Jose. And then the behavior is, no, not going to do it. Not interested. Or because you've soothed yourself first. Okay, this is choosing you first. Before you respond, you choose you understand how you feel, and then you have an empowered conversation internally and say, how am I going to react to this? And when you start to practice it, it becomes very quick. It becomes something that is regular. But sometimes when you're confronted by something, you can't respond quickly, but you can just withdraw and just kind of think, well, you know what, I'm going to process this because I have every right to. So reaction reprogramming is the third tool that I'm going to give you. It is about choosing you first before you respond. Okay, I'm going to see if this last one will work, but I won't dwell on it too long if it doesn't. Okay, so 3 immediate tools. No, it's not going to launch. Okay, I was going to say for all of you, which one did you find would be the best? But they're all great. So I'm going to encourage you to love all of them. Okay, quick romp through because we are cracking on. So if you're still with me, that's amazing. Okay, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the Isla Wellness Academy and our support. And our mission is to help you feel better about yourself. This is something I've been wanting to launch for a very, very long time. I've been doing it in dribs and drabs, but with my mum being so ill for almost a year, it's taken me longer than I wanted, but actually it's great because I've become more and more psychically aware and more enjoying the energy side of things as well, because I do love teaching life skills, but I love teaching energy. Okay, energy, affects and infects. Our mission is to help you feel better about yourself. Okay, so this is why, because I worked in environments where love didn't spread, and I tried to spread love because that makes you and me, everybody, feels very, very good when we spread love. We get it coming back to us. So my mission is to help you feel good about yourself. If I can help you feel good about yourself, this is what happens. You pass that on, and this is what happens. These people pass it on to their friends, and this is what happens. Everybody passes it on. Everybody and anyone can become an energy healer. Anyone. If you're feeling good about yourself, you affect and infect the rest of the world, literally, as you travel around because you feel better about yourself. Now, I'm not going to get me wrong, there are days when we don't feel good about ourselves, but if on the whole, you can energetically start to raise your vibration to feel better about yourself, then that is rippled out through the external world, and that is a beautiful gift that we can give to this world. And the one thing that we can do is to spread love. Okay, hopefully we've got something for everybody. I'm going to romp through these. We've got me. I work with 2 collaboration partners, Shelley Reamer. If you haven't met Shelley, Shelley is a spiritual guide. She's been channeling guides for people and providing life coaching and channeling for 30 years. She is the real deal. She's quite incredible. She tunes into the energies of people. And Erin, who is an animal communicator, tunes into the energy of animals. I do both, but in smaller, like a kind of more broad spread, and they're kind of deeper, if you like. Okay, so we've got some great collaborations going on. For you, we have free things to help you because we really, really want to spread love genuinely. That is our intention behind that. We also have some things that are paid because our time, we need to pay our bills. Okay, so there's hopefully something for all of you. We have the free YouTube. All Shelley and Erin have just recently set up YouTube channels themselves, free content out to the world to help you either with animals, to understand animals in another way, to have fun with animals, or with Shelley to understand. She's got free meditation, she's got spiritual guidance going on, and now you can ask her any question. She will record a video about it and put it onto YouTube. Okay, we have these free webinars. We're going to have them once a month, maybe even more, probably once a month, just to introduce the following month's courses. Our online satsangs, you can come along and receive real specific information from Shelley and me. They're £7.50 or $10 to enter. They're the lowest cost. option that we have where you can actually chat to us face to face. We will tune into your energy. We will tell you what's coming through. We will give you what guidance we can. And the whole setup is about sharing wisdom and sharing calm, gentle, kind energy. New will be launched in September. I'm going to be running some one-off workshops about specific topics. This month, it's going to be about having money confidence, and it's going to be about developing your intuitive capabilities. And we're going to be launching some digital courses. One of those is going to be on self-love activation, a 21-day course where we can actually accelerate you through that self-love journey. And then we've got our 4 to 8 week courses with live classes. We've got 3 running in September. I'll tell you about those in a minute, but every month we'll be running for 2 or 3 classes where we're covering some certain skills. And then launching on the 1st of September, I'm putting in a exclusive year-long mentoring program that will be for anyone who has a business or wants to set up a business that is going to help loads and loads of people as well, either through healing or creativity. This is a chance to work with me on a business level and on a personal development level, a spiritual development level. It's exclusive. There's only 12 places. Actually, 2 have already been taken. So it's a rolling program, so anyone can join at any time, but you either need to know me or you need to come for an interview with me, because the group is going to be very, very select about what it is that we're all trying to achieve and energetically matched. So I'm going to be launching that soon. So something for everybody in terms of price scale and what we can do to help you. And our September events, I'm launching the mentoring program. It actually starts at the beginning of October. On the 8th of September, we've got a satsang with myself and Shelley. The 10th and the 11th, we're starting our 4-week courses, Learn to Channel Your Spirit Guides, 4-week course in Beginner's Tarot, and an 8-week course in Learning Animal Communication. On the 17th of September, I've got a Mastering Money Confidence workshop. That's not on the website yet, but it will be in a couple of days. The 22nd satsang is about business coaching. There's another workshop. Oh, there's 2 workshops. Oh, self-love activation, sorry. Yeah, self-love activation is the second workshop. And on the 27th, the webinar like this one, which will be free, which will be about your intuitive skills development. And then on the 29th, we've got a satsang with myself and Shelley again. Now, a quick bonus for those of you who are interested in the 4 or 8 week courses. If you're interested and you wanted to sign up, or if you have already signed up, so this applies to you if you've already signed up. It wasn't on offer, but some of you have already signed up. Between now and midnight on the 31st of August, you will get a free course. I'm going to be launching a free digital course on self-love activation within the next week or so. You will get a free copy of that course if you join one of our big courses. You will get free entry to a 1-day workshop that will be valid for 3 months. So you could join a September one, an October one, or a November one. You will get an exclusive satsang with myself and Shelley, where we will guarantee to give you one-on-one time in that satsang. And that's for anyone who's joining the Channeling Spirit Guides course. And if you are joining the Animal Communication course, Erin and I will have a reading of your pet. It doesn't have to be a pet that you have alive. It could be a pet in spirit. And if you don't have a pet, but you still want to join that course, that's absolutely no problem at all. We will read a friend of yours if you want to nominate somebody. Okay, so those are bonus gifts. And they will be made accessible once the live classes start. So if you do join a course, that you don't then, back out of that course and you've had a free gift. So it'll be accessible to you as soon as the course starts. So sign up if you're interested and you want to sign up by the 31st of August for any of those 4 or 8 week courses, then those free gifts apply to you. For all of those of you who've joined this today, you will all be receiving an extra gift that you didn't know about. You will be receiving a free copy, a PDF copy of my ebook, From Zero to Money Hero. I've written this book to help young adults in Scotland through a charitable endeavour, and I want to help people have a good relationship with money. I'm going to be running a workshop on it, but for those of you who've joined this event, you will be getting a free copy. You are also going to get a free copy of that meditation, which I hadn't intended to give you, but I certainly didn't want anyone to think that they were going to be charged for it. Okay, so we are all about love and peace. That is, the more that you can find that in yourself, as I said, it doesn't have to be with us, but if you're doing the work, if you're going into meditation, the more that you give yourself permission to love who you are, the more that you're going to be helping this world to heal. Okay, that is my romp through. I am now going to attempt to take questions. through the Q&A session here. So we have got any questions coming in. Anyone would like to ask me anything. So about subtle energy, about self-love, or about any of our September events. I'm going to come on screen. Obviously the chat message isn't working. You can, if you lower all hands, if anyone wants to actually ask me a question, I'm going to lower all hands and then ask if you want to come on screen. Would anyone like to ask a question live to me right now? Okay, Siobhan, allowed to talk. Hi, coming on screen.
Hi there.
Hi, Siobhan. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, and you, Heather?
I'm great, thank
Uh,
you.
Thank you so much for this. Just by the way, this has been fantastic.
My pleasure. So
Um,
glad, thank you.
I wanted to ask you, I know that you did touch on it, but do you personally find that certain things that you do will affect how well you can read energy?
Yes.
Specifically, yes, yeah, like in terms of, I don't know, like food you eat or I don't know, like things you do. Sorry, I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, no, it's really helpful. It doesn't so much affect my ability to read energy, it affects my capacity to read energy. So when I'm very tired, or like when my mum was really, really ill, I really just didn't have much life force to give. So I think there's two things that go on. When you train yourself to allow deep listening to your intuition, there's not really much that can get in the way of that. When you're very, very, very stressed, however, you're more likely to deal with the stress than you are to listen to the inputs coming in. So it takes more practice and it takes more work to allow yourself to quieten down the analyzer even under stressful situations in order to hear information. I tend not to offer like animal communication, for example, or reading tarot. I had private readings. I've closed down my private readings while I've been going through, when my mum was going through all of her ill health. Not so much because I couldn't read the cards, it's just that I just didn't have the heartbeat, I didn't have the life force to be able to give to that. But if I go back a year, to answer your question, if I go back a year when I was kind of less confident in my reading of energy, then I would probably have, it's not that I wouldn't have heard the messages, I probably would have questioned them more. I think if that answers your question.
It does, yes. Thank you so much.
No worries at all. Thank you. Anyone else would like to answer anything? Any other questions about actually anything? Sheila, hi. Now, Siobhan, I can't manage to, how do I remove permission to talk? Okay, Sheila Shan, hi. How are you? How's your face?
I had the
Sheila.
most, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I had the most amazing development because of you, Heather.
Oh,
Through
okay.
finding your horoscope, your reading online. I
Uh-huh.
then started every day. Now every day I see you. When I wake up, I look for you in my bed, watch it, and and you told me in the satsang with Shelley,
Yeah.
you both gave me some feedback, and another lady did as well, very kindly. And I have a Ayurvedic background. I also have a Reiki background. So my take, I felt the energy of that, and I interpreted it, to my own individual. So you was tapping into me going in my roots. I think you felt, yeah, you said go to India, go your
Yes.
roots, you get the support from there. The vibe you got about I need to I get great support from my roots. My roots was actually the roots that I have gone into that have given me now enormous freedom is my roots in activism.
Wow.
And and because of this, I am now absolutely transformed. I'm totally in my power. I feel like a different person, not different. I feel so elevated. And
Wow.
actually, over the last 2 days, I I've told every once in a while, every few years, the benefits service change, and you have to reapply. You have to go through lots of things, and it's always debilitating and stressful. But this time, I found myself telling them, rip up my form. I don't want any of it. You can keep your money. And of course, everyone going crazy. How you going to live? How you going to eat? And I'm like, I'll eat what I can grow, what I can forage, what I can swap for. I'm absolutely fine. The universe has me, and I know that.
Wow. Sheila, I'm so honestly, I'm quite overwhelmed.
Yes,
Any of you
me
who are listening here, that's the power of coming on one satsang with myself and Shelley.
The energies you've been reading recently have been very, very good for me, Pisces, for the Pisces. And it's reflected and it's given so much support because I noticed it more because you were telling it.
It has been an astonishing run of energy. I mean, it really has. I'm feeling it too. It's great. I'm very, very happy to hear that, Sheila, and thank you so much for coming and sharing.
Thank you. I'm enormously grateful.
And I am for you too. Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste. Angie, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I can't hear anything. Oh dear.
Oh, can you hear me?
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Hello.
Hi, we can hear you.
Hello. Hello.
Hi. Let me try again. Okay. I'll just try again with Angie and allow her to talk. Okay. Can you hear me now,
Hello.
Angie? Hi, can you hear me? No? Any chat to Angie? Oh, that's a shame. Okay. Angie, if you can hear us at all, then I don't think we're going to be able to chat to you. My webinar skills are just not good enough. Okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, hi.
I'm so excited.
It's so lovely to see you.
It's awesome. It's awesome to see you. So Angie was in one of my in fact, my very first satsang. I know one or two of you here are as well. So how are you?
I'm doing okay, Heather, and I'm really loving your progress. Is so inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
It really is, because as you're reading, then obviously it's for all Pisces, and it's just so motivating. It's been awesome, and well done with this. I'm really enjoying it.
Great.
I know this is a purposeful session, so I sent you a message about my mum's passing, and the question really was about all the possessions in the house.
Right.
I'm in Barbados, and as I told you that my mum passed away in November.
Yeah.
And I was the least favorite of her children. She made it quite well known. And she left the house to myself and 4 siblings that never came over here and still live in the UK. So I'm in the process now of clearing the space. And because I moved in here to help her while she was ill. And you mentioned energy passing through objects and things like that.
Yeah.
So I don't really like keeping anything of my mum's, but the house is full of things that belong to her, so I wasn't quite sure what to do.
Whatever feels good to you, okay? I couldn't even countenance having stuff of my mum's. I can't countenance having anybody else's stuff in my house. And like your energetic pattern will be completely disrupted if you keep things that don't feel good to you. And I go through each object and say, does it feel good or doesn't? There's no loyalty to your mum to need to keep it. You know, her spirit is in a place of absolute love. Her material possessions, if they don't give you and feed you love, then you don't want them in your energetic environment unless it feels like the right thing for you to do that. Now, obviously, that's free will choice, but if it was down to me, I would remove everything that doesn't feel good. I would obviously, if I had my sister or my siblings involved, one sister for me in my case, I would offer her the chance to have any of them. And then otherwise I'd do a house clearance, and we're going through that with me and my dad, but we're doing it slowly. So we removed from his immediate environment like kind of everyday stuff that didn't feel good for him to have around. In her bedroom, we've removed things that were, sort of I did like soiled clothing and that kind of stuff. And then there's some stuff in drawers which they're fine for now, but in time we'll just chip away at it. So as it feels right to you, it's a feeling thing, Angie. Does it feel good here? Doesn't it? Does it feel like I want it in my life or don't I? Does somebody else in the family want it? No, right, family, that's going somewhere. We're going to give it to charity or whatever we're doing. I would personally wouldn't keep any of it there.
One last thing, thank you. And I really appreciate the answer because that's exactly how I feel.
Okay.
My parents were Jehovah's Witnesses.
Right.
I am not a Jehovah's Witness,
Uh-huh.
but growing up, you always got told to cherish books, especially biblical books, and don't
Yeah.
throw them away. And I'm just ready to put a fire underneath all of them. Just wanted to know spiritually and energetically what you think about that.
I energetically, spiritually, maybe even I don't know if it's a moral thing. I wouldn't burn any book. But what I would do is give them to charity, to somewhere where who would cherish them in a way that isn't right for you to want to cherish them. You know, somebody would, and if they don't, then they might be able to pass them on to other places like libraries, schools, you know, other Jehovah's like witnesses. I think with books have knowledge that until the book falls apart, the book wants to exist. You can ask the books, honestly, Angie, ask the book, do you want to exist or do you want to be released?
I wouldn't burn them, but you know what I mean. Just get them out of my sight.
Well, I definitely remove them. I wouldn't keep anything. I will not keep anything in my environment that doesn't feel good to me because it makes me feel out of sorts.
And can you tell if it's not feeling good by just the energy you get when you come close to it?
Yeah.
Because that's what's happening with me right now. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's your intuition. That's just psychic. That's a psychic sense working. Literally, it is a psychic sense from your gut area working and feeling the energy of that object and saying you don't belong in Angie's energetic pattern. That object is disruptive to your natural right to be energetically yourself. So it's causing a ripple. If you think of our holistic self as being literally an energetic vibrational pattern, a system, we've got all these energetic stuff coming out of us in waves. When we talk about our vibration, it is very, very, very unique to us because it's the pattern of our mind, the pattern of our heart, the pattern of our gut, the pattern of all of our organs. It is uniquely us. And when we talk about raising our vibration, what we're doing is saying we're making our energetic pattern stronger. It's very unique to us, like our fingerprint, but it's getting stronger because it hasn't got disruptive influences making it not happen. So if you think of a wave in the water, and it comes across a rock and it splits and it goes round it, okay? That object is a rock in your energetic pattern, stopping you from being free to be yourself. So
makes perfect sense.
If it feels good,
appreciate it. Yeah.
If it feels good, that's because you're energetically aligned to it. And if it doesn't feel good, it's because the vibrational pattern of that object and you are not energetically aligned. So I would absolutely, definitely, if it was me, do have a thorough clear out.
I'm just going to go get some bin bags now, okay?
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Heather.
No worries, my pleasure. Okay,
darling.
Thank you so much, Angie. And amazing to chat to you again.
You too, darling. You too.
Anyone else got any questions? Anyone want to raise a hand and come on? Or we will call it there. Oh, Mia. Okay. Mia, where are we? Allowed to talk. Mia. Hi, Mia.
Hi.
Hiya.
Right. I'm coming from Singapore.
Hi.
And I truly love what you're doing.
Thank you.
And it has truly resonated with my being, if I can say so. The only issue that I have is that the time difference that Singapore is about 7 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
And currently I'm in UK, so it's so happy that I can actually attend this webinar. And if not, it will be about 1, 2 a.m. in the mornings. So my question is basically, how would I actually take up the courses, which I truly want to? Would it be in recording mode or would it be how so kind of thing? Please do let me know.
Yeah, no problem. So every single course live lesson is recorded. And those recordings are made available forever. So, well, they go onto YouTube as unlisted, so nobody can access them unless you're on the course and I give you the link to access them. The course on animal communication is very interactive, and it would be very challenging for anyone to benefit in the way that the course is really designed to help you benefit if you weren't in the live lessons. But the course on channeling or on tarot, we've got a course on psychic senses that will be coming out in October, and a more advanced course on tarot coming out in October. So those courses, you would have, it'd be much easier to do them well, in fact, it would be very, very easy to follow the course by watching the recordings. And then if you could come along to a live session, we'll, as I said, we'll do a bespoke satsang for anyone who's on the channeling course, for example, so that you could come along and actually interact with us and ask us any questions. So I have had in the previous month, I have had people who've gone through the entire courses remotely. So it is possible, but I definitely wouldn't recommend doing the animal communication one remotely. And I'm afraid the only other option, Mia, would be to get up early, because I'm in the UK and my collaboration partners are in the US. So we've already got kind of a window that we have to work with in order for their morning and my evening. So it's
Right.
very challenging for us to be able to shift that at all, just simply because of where they are and where I am.
Well, fortunately for myself, I'm more into, I don't have any pet. I love pets, but I kind of like not wanting to have any more pets. So the pets workshop could be put on hold for now.
Okay.
And I would like to concentrate more on the tarots and more to know how to look after myself, holistically wise.
Yeah.
And I have managed now to embrace what's been hidden for the last 50 odd years.
Well
And
done.
it has been very, very emotional, challenging, but beautiful, you know. So yeah, I will look forward. I'll sign up for certain things that I could do on a recording basis. I will only want to learn, and I've been looking for a mentor and such, and I found you the last few months,
Bless
and
you.
you have been truly kind of like how would I say this, like clicked with my
Yes.
being.
Yes.
And it's not easy for one just to have that kind of feel within ourselves to meet and able to respond silently, even though you are reading the cards, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just listening. I felt that it resonates brilliantly.
Thank you
You
very
know, thank
much, and
you.
I really
Thank
appreciate
you for
that.
being you.
Oh, thank you. And I'm just going to say the same in return. I'm going to say the same in return to all of you, because without your energy and like working with me, we are building a community. I might be providing the messages, and you know, I'm happy being leader. I've, you know, led in the physical world, companies all over the world. I enjoy the position or the process, the what's the right word? It's an honor. It's an honor to be a leader. I enjoy the honor of being able to help people. But you're vibing with me because I'm getting your energy to vibe with. So it's a two-way thing, Mia. It really is. I'm as grateful for you and as clicked with you as you are with me. And I see that when, you know, we're having people coming to the satsangs. You know, Angie, I've just talked to, Debbie, who I talked to right at the start. You know, I'm starting to you know, get to know some of you with really, really beautiful, meaning, proper soul tribe family relationship, you know, energetic exchanges going on here, and it's a blessing, and thank you so much for that.
What I can say is that this is fate. Thank you.
It is destiny to help support each other, for certain.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you so much for your beautiful words as well. And anyone else would like to say hi? Or we'll call it a day? Any more questions? Oh, Callie. Okay. We'll do two more. Callie and Peggy, we'll do both of yours, and then I will I'll call it a day after that. So Callie, promote to panelist. No, allowed to talk. Here we go. Hi, Callie.
Hello.
Hi.
This is my first time on Zoom, so I'm just should I join as panelist or stay as attendee?
I think if you join as panelist, you can come on screen if you like. I don't know how to do that. Promote to rejoining as panelist. Promote to panelist. I can see your face then, I think. Oh, I have no idea. I'm not very good at webinars. I'm brilliant at Zoom meetings, but not so good at webinars. If you just chat to me, Callie, I'll answer without seeing your video.
Okay, so you can't hear me now, right?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just have a couple of questions about the animal communications course.
Okay.
I'm not interested in that. But I'm just thinking, like, I'm very new. Oh, and there you can hear my dog. I'm very new to like the whole energy thing, and I'm not sure if is it a good idea to start it now, or should I maybe do something else. And
No, my first entry point was animal communication. Who is your dog? What are they called? Say he's a Grig. She's a Grig. What's your dog called? Either?
Smiley, Smiley,
Smiley.
Smiley. Yeah.
Oh, my first entry point into subtle energy. I mean, I was curious about energy from a physical and emotional perspective, but into the spiritual side of energy, my first entry point was animal communication, and it taught me so much, and it is profoundly life-changing. So there's no precursor needed. We will give you all the tools in that course to open up your intuition, to open up your psychic senses. We will help you work with meditation. So the course is a foundational level course that anyone can join. You don't have to have any previous experience at all. I've taken a vet through this course. I've taken a left brain male accountant through this course. And everybody, even people who have no previous expectation of intuition or psychic capability, come out with very specific and very clear messages coming through from animals. From day one, they will arrive as messages, but there's a trust that has to happen in your internal system. But by week 3 or 4, you'll be starting to feel very confident in your capability. And so we're going to do a combination of a little bit of theory so your mind can get its head around what's happening, and then live hands-on experience where you'll be connecting to animals from day one, and we'll take you all the way through to the slightly scary stuff for somebody who's not spiritually connected, but I've been through it as well. Trust me, it's just like, how does this happen? But to animals that are in spirit as well, because we do receive energetic messages from them, very, very specific ones as well. So it's a eye-opening, life-changing, and kind of like, is that really what's happened experience? But we take you and hold you through all the way from no previous experience, even an energy required. Does that help?
Good. Thank you. Yep. Gonna think about it a bit because
No worries.
is it about the same time, like 6 p.m. UK time?
Say again, is it?
Is it about the same time as the webinar, like 6?
Oh, so yeah, so it's 6 o'clock. So it's starting on Wednesday, the 11th at 6 o'clock UK time. So that'll be 2 p.m. in Eastern America and 10 a.m. in Pacific time in America. So 6 p.m. every Wednesday for 8 weeks.
Okay.
And 90-minute live classes, either with myself or Erin. We'll join together at the start, and then we kind of alternate and then we join together at the end.
All right, that sounds really good.
Okay.
And, thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you very much.
And your tarot readings, I love them.
Oh, thank you so much. I love it so much. It's just I feel very blessed to be able to do it. So and
yeah, I'm watching them every morning, like somebody else said as well. It's helping me a lot.
Good.
So
that's lovely. Thank you so much. Okay, and then one last question. We will have Peggy and allow Peggy to talk, and I will see if I can swap you over so I can see you on.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Peggy.
Hello.
Hi, Peggy.
I'd just like to, I'm in Canada, in Regina, but I want to thank you so very, very much for your beautiful tarot readings. You put lots of pieces together for me. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
And you are terrific. You're just, you are so good and so explanative, you know. I really do enjoy them. And very helpful, by the way, too. You put a lot of effort into it, and it was so good from the perspective of it really helped me get over some humps, you know, how I couldn't figure out how to do something. And you really helped. Thank you so much.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. And I'm so glad, and I'm so blessed and so grateful to be able to help you. But, you know, at the end of the day, what I say to everybody is you all help yourselves, and that's the blessing, is activating that inside yourself.
Well, you were a catalyst. You're a catalyst.
A catalyst. And I feel very blessed to be a catalyst, but please don't detract from what you're doing for yourself as well in all of that as well. Because if you choose to heal and you choose to want to move forward, then that's the gift you're giving yourself. And
well, that's exactly right. But yeah. I do very much appreciate all of the time and the effort and the learning that you are so willing to share with us.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. On that note, have you got any questions, Peggy, or just you just came
No,
on?
no, I don't have any questions.
Okay. I will take your love and I will return it. I will return that to all of you. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. I'm not 100% sure I like this setup with Owen as when I can't actually chat with you directly and see your face, but faces. I think, but we had a lot of people, so it's actually the most efficient way to make it happen. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming along. You will get a recording of this presentation within the next 24 hours. It'll be much less than that by the time Zoom turns this all around and I can email it out. You will also get, all of you, a free copy, whether you're joining me not live and you've watched all the way through. You'll be getting a free copy of my ebook. You will also be getting a free copy of the meditation that I know some of you were asked to buy because that's horrendous and that's not how I work. But I got my setup wrong. I've had an absolute challenge today with microphones and all sorts of things the last 2 days. But you know, IT is it is what it is. And as I said, if any of you are interested in those courses, there are those extra fee bonus things available until midnight Pacific time on the 31st of August. And that includes any of you who've already signed up to those particular courses. So thank you so much again. And yeah, blessings to all of you. And thank you for being here, and I hope you've enjoyed the satsang, the webinar, and I hope it was helpful to all of you. So I will sign off now and leave you to it. Okay, take care. Thank you so much.